Hello, today's video is sculpting an abstract form of a female holding two children. We started with two slabs, connecting them together, making sure they're standing upright. And we did start with cutout paper just to outline the form. And eventually we will be cutting it open to make sure they are thin enough. Half inch is the ideal for bisque firing and for glaze firing. Thanks for watching. This clay is a stoneware, white stoneware, called 182 stoneware, bought from a local store, ceramic store here in Chicago. And it will be fired at cone, I believe they fire at cone 04, 011 for bisque firing, and for glazing it will be fired at cone 6. So since we are creating this sculpture from a photograph, we don't have a view of the back and the side of the actual piece, the 360 view. We will be adding our own version of the back and the side view of the piece. Basic tip when you're sculpting, making sure you don't let it too dry. I usually cover it with plastic. If it's drying faster, I will cover the piece lightly halfway, and when it's too dry, I usually spray it lightly or damp my hand with water, and I avoid drippy water that will cause some cracks later. So the piece, when it's leather hard, that's the best time to cut open to make sure it's half inch. What happened here is I cut the piece open at the bottom, and as I open it, the inside is still wet, obviously, because it's a closed piece. So I prevented it from falling and collapsing on me by putting a ball of clay on the left side, as you see it on here. And I quickly put the pieces together and add the coil outside, and that prevents it from collapsing. So after I put them all together, I let it dry for a while, and when it's strong enough, I was able to lift the piece, and I compressed the inside, making sure all the connections that I put together, if it's needed to be compressed or if it's needed some more clay or coiled clay, I reinforce the strength of the inside of the sculpture. Sometimes you cannot lift the piece if it's a large piece. So, but this piece is small enough that I was able to lift it and check the inside of the sculpture and reinforce the connections. So I spent some time reinforcing, compressing the inside and outside, and add more details. And then I am trying to make it as close as how I want it proportion wise, because I am going to cut it open. The head, I have 3 heads to cut and shoulders to cut open, and making sure they're not thick for firing. So that's what I'm preparing the piece for. Now that the piece is super leather hard, it's time to hollow it out. Cut it using a wire tool. Try to be steady. I try to cut the piece with a steady hand by one. Usually my right hand is steady and the left hand is doing the cutting. Then of course you have to mark your outline where you will hollow out and dig out the clay. I try to put an outline of ½ inch and start digging out the clay. So I'll be doing the same thing with the 2 heads and the shoulders, and connect them back by scoring, slip with liquid clay or slip, and then once it's connected, score again and reinforce with the coil. Well, again, thanks for watching. The remaining of the video, you'll be seeing me cutting, hollowing, putting the pieces together, adding coil, slip, and scoring. So thanks for watching. Hope you gained some knowledge and tips from this video.